Hi, this is Carol, and this is the final product of the English class. And my team is Burgueño Barraza José Ángel, Delgado Tirado Jessica Johanna, Moreno Castañeda Dulce María, WONG CARVAJAL Diana Patricia, and me, Hernández Ríos Carol Samara. Thank you. And our inform is about how to solve health problems. This article is about the solutions about we can use to inform and avoid health problems. Because especially in those kind of crises like the one that we are right now, even in the present we had lived in a situation where the most of the population doesn't act in a correct way. Since some factors made it grow longer, the COVID pandemic. Because if we were sufficiently informed and with good knowledge, those health problems among people would not be so recurrent. In order of the different investigations, some of the causes of the deaths in Mexico is because there's so many different preventable diseases, which means is that if we had respect the appropriate measures, we will have another way where we could begin to practice the basic aging stuffs. Because now more than ever, we know that a flu can be as dangerous as a dangerous disease. Like this, mention some healthy habits to don't get to this as the same as precautionary measures and recommendations to always be able to have a long life and a good health. Because this is the main thing that each of us can do to have a life without diseases, without problems for ourselves and our world. Since that is what we expect from this. Well, we have been investigating these solutions to health problems to seek the well being of the whole society, that they may have the necessary knowledge and that they realize the things that may be doing wrong. We will present it in an information way, important arguments about it, and some realities that can have consequence, which will have your investigation of your quantitative account on the general population in Mexico. To have a great knowledge and a study of each disease and know which is the one that most people suffer from this.
In the last year with COVID-19 and the quarantine made people question their hygiene habits which were awful at the beginning of the pandemic. The majority of the population understood why the disease was a common shake at the flu and cough. And it was so notorious that anybody out of the medical service have any know about how the bacteria and organisms work, and elect how we can avoid these diseases. In Mexico, every year dies around 600,000 people. This figure are from Instituto Nacional de Estadísticas y Geografía, INERI. This institute made a study called Women and Men in 2014, in which has the 12 result diseases that confirm the principal causes of death in our country. The figures of this study says today the mortality of Mexican population is more related with chronic degenerative diseases, accident and exodus of people with infection disorder as happened years ago. There's a little list of the most common diseases: heart diseases, diabetes, cancer, cerebrovascular diseases, liver diseases, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, condition originating in the perinatal period, kidney disease, obesity. Of the most recently study in 2017, there were registered 703,047 deaths in Mexico, which around the 56% was met. Well, most of these are the causes of deaths in our country are preventable diseases.
On the general population, the principal cause of death was the heart diseases, 20.1%, the second was the diabetes, 15.2%, malignant tumors, 12%, liver diseases, 5.5%, and accidents, 5.2%. In adults, the 5 first causes of deaths in men were also the heart diseases, 20.1%, diabetes 15.1%, malignant tumors 10.8%, liver diseases 7.6%, and homicides 7.3%. By the other hand, women's deaths is almost by heart diseases 22.7%, diabetes 18.6%, malignant tumors 14.5%, cerebrovascular diseases 6.1%, and chronic obstructive lung diseases 3.8%. Under 15 years of age was due, firstly, to conditions originating in the postnatal period, 35.9%, followed by congenital malformations, 21%, accidents, 9.3%, pneumonia and influenza, 4.2%, and malignant tumors, 4.2%. All those diseases, which we mentioned before, are preventable, but does everybody knows how to do it? Although it is true that Mexicans are never given a great education about diseases and bacteria, the pandemic has happened or has opened our eyes to a world where we notice our failures when taking measures against them. That's why it is important to take a great responsibility about these topics. This is why it is important to know that the main pillars to protect yourself from diseases are personal and household hygiene and food. Instilling good hygiene habits from children is essential to minimize the risk of contagion of preventive diseases. But as responsible people, we must include hygiene and food measures in our daily lives. Some hygiene measures you can take are: 1. Wash your hands frequently, that is, not only before eating but after any activity. 2. Cover the mouth and nose where sneezing or coughing, preferable with the forearm, to prevent the transmitting particles of the disease from setting on the hand and from there passing to any object that we can touch. 3. Avoid sharing glasses, bottles, and utensils.
In addition, it is also important to take precautions when it comes to clearing up the home. We can washing our hands frequently, that is not only before eating but after any activity. Thirdly, cleaning kitchens, countertops, and the bathroom, and anything that can harbor any bacteria. Clean and cook food well. Ventilate the home daily as cleaned. Similarly, a balanced and healthy diet maintains high defenses, making it difficult for viruses and bacteria to enter the body, which by the same way, some studies suggest that a healthy and balanced diet will help prevent some serious diseases such as cancer, atherosclerosis, high cholesterol, and triglycerides, arthritis, or diabetes. So we can replace saturated fats with unsaturated fats. For example, changing the consumption of red meat for blue fish, increase consumption of fruits and vegetables, incorporate fish oils and olive oil into the family diet as they could reduce the risk of cancer. Choose whole grains over processed ones due to their high content of carbohydrates and fibers that help prevent diabetes. Eat well, eat between 4 and 5 servings of natural vegetables and fruits daily, due to the great contribution of essential nutrients. Stay well hydrated, it is worth nothing that the drink of preference should be water. Avoid sweetening beverages. Increase the consumption of citrus fruits thanks to get great contribution of vitamin C. Citrus fruits help our body to generate defenses. Exercise regularly, at least half an hour a day. With this information, we can tell that if someone follows these advices, the most probably that person will be even more healthy than the most of the population. This last step is one of the a great way, since exercising is in a usual way is one of the healthiest behaviors that human beings can perform, and there are many studies that confirm this. Thus, sports practice provides any benefits for general health because it improves mood, reduces stress, improves sleep quality, etc. In addition, it has been to prevent diseases such as high blood pressure, heart diseases, overweight and obesity, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, stress, high cholesterol, eye diseases, arthritis, asthma, Alzheimer's, depression, fibromyalgia, cancer, anxiety, colds, and the flu. Finally, if we have already contracted diseases, it is the best to go to the doctor to receive a required treatment, and not to treat them with home remedies, as they can worsen the problem.
As we were able to observe, the diseases that cause mortality are very varied. However, they have one point in common, and that is that they can be prevented. Something very good is we consider the current state of the situation with pandemic, because a small disease can be very harmful. If we can apply the measures shown at home, we could have better health. So it's important from a young age to teach how to have correct nutrition and hygiene so that this becomes habits that lead you to have a healthy life.